Hello, investors. It is Connor Bates, Associate Portfolio Manager with Revere Asset Management. Today is Friday, November 22nd, 4:22 p.m. Eastern Time, coming to you with tonight's Revere Roundup Daily Market Insight video. Market state, uptrend, nothing has changed. If you look at the trend gauge over here, the four coveted green arrows, market leaders acting great, green arrow. And then all major indexes are trending above the 21, 50, and 200-day moving average. So good to see there and to know the trend is in our favor. So quite the day for small caps today, outperforming big tech. And today, based on seasonality, is a bottom into a year-end rally. So I'll show that chart when I get later into the video. But with that, here are the final numbers. 21 over 21 list up 1.27, 13 green, 8 red, big 8 down 0.11%, RG8 up 1.44%, S&P up 0.35%, equal weight up 0.79%, QQQ up 0.16%, equal weight up 0.79%, Dow Jones Industrial Average up 0.95%, mid caps up 1.67%, Russell 2000 up 1.84%, 60/40 stock and bond up 0.24%, and then in-house GROTECTION up 0.02%. Pretty flat day. And good to see love to see these numbers. RG8, RSP, Russell 2000, mid caps, that typically coincides with good action for growth stocks. Alrighty, let's get into the interasset correlation. So as always, start with S&P 500. Strong today. Second day back above the 8 EMA. Obviously, we held the 21 down here, and this looks good. 6,000's obviously some resistance. 60-minute looks like we're forming a little 60-minute flag here after breaking out of this little base. And you can see today was just, like a 25-point range here, and it was just chop city. But a lot of leading stocks acted well, and that's exactly what we like to see. RSP trying to emerge out into new highs. You could, this kind of got like a bit of an ascending base here, and this is really just breaking out and could see some further momentum into year end, but weekly looks good as well. The Qs getting back above the 8 and closing above this 503.52 pivot. Good to see. Would love to see 500 hold on any pullback along with the 21-day and the 50-day. Weekly looks good, coming out of this 6-month base. Mag 7, held this bottom of the base and now just kind of flagging here. Dow Jones, strong move off the 21, 3 powerful days up. Mid caps again, similar thing. Had a 4 days down in the 21, offered a good risk to reward along with this 3,200 level, and 4 really powerful days. So this is great to see. Russell 2000, similar thing. Pulled back to the top of this base, and then 4 days higher on breaking this downtrend line as well. Good to see. ARC, just keeping this in here because definitely this is a theme in the market right now. And this one looks good, emerging out of a long stage 1 base. So, hey, maybe it's time for Kathy to get some outperformance. VIX, love to see this. 15 handle, closing below 16. Should coincide with less volatility, less range in the S&P 500, and strong action in the stocks that we traffic in. Dollar. Now this one, it just keeps going up and not really putting a drag on equities too much here, but this is breaking out of a pretty big weekly level, pretty big weekly base. So just keep an eye on it. It's definitely not really spilling into gold either. This was looking pretty ugly here, and then strong 5 days up, back above all the moving averages. GDX bounced right off the 200-day as well. Silver in no man's land, not doing much. Bitcoin just continues to rocket higher, and it in this 100,000 level is looking more and more likely. Maybe we get it this weekend, but more of the stories don't underestimate 6 to 12-month bases when they're in theme. You can just see fantastic move here. Bonds, no man's land, and TLT just clear downtrend here as well. And then rates kind of just forming a flag here. We'll see which way they resolve, but a little bit extended short term as well. This has been a pretty big move off the lows. So that's the inter-asset correlation. Let's take a look at the tape. And so VIX 15 handle, that's good to see. Sorry here. The NASI, this is still very oversold. So a way to look at this is look how powerful the market is right now. And if we get this NASI to start hooking back up, that'd be very bullish. And then percent of stocks above the 5-day starting to get into that overbought territory. But I will mention I found this more useful for for fear in the market because we are in a bull market and secondary indicators can stay overbought for months on end. So that's that. No notable news today. We had a couple retail earnings, and you'll see in the sectors, XRT had a strong day. Ross and Gap had a strong gap on earnings, but I think what everyone across the globe is watching is Bitcoin going to break above 100,000. This is a huge psychological level, and who knows, maybe we get it this weekend. 2 days up, 2 days above the 8, 5 days above the 21. Like I mentioned, action. Great to see just a tight range in the S&P 500. Can't really complain there. Sectors wise, retail on the heels of Gap and Ross earnings. Regional banks fits that theme with IWM. XBI is getting a bit of a dead cat bounce. Home builders, software, energy, financials, Bitcoin. A lot of strong sectors today. Wide variety as well. And then weakness, natural gas, China, and silver. So pretty broad-based day today, especially, you always get the good breath when you see RG8, IWM, MDY all leading. In-house, we just added on to our Tesla position. So that brought our adjusted beta to 1.93. And bottom line, small caps lead heading into a strong seasonality period. And on the topic of that, let me show you this seasonality chart. So I tweeted this the other day, but basically what you can see is November 22nd. This is from Goldman Sachs, Scott Rubner, and November 22nd has historically marked the bottom, for equities into a strong year-end rally. So we've tracked seasonality pretty well all year, so maybe this could be a potential precedent moving forward. And then I wanted to show this NASI to just show, you can see how oversold RSI is. And this is the chart of the S&P 500 below. And you can see right here, we got that hookup. This led to a nice rally. And now we're starting to get this hookup. And let's look at some other instances. We got the hookup here, led to a strong rally, kind of a hookup around here, strong rally. And then again, down here, coming out of oversold. So we use this. We keep you guys informed on this. So just keep watching our videos and we'll update if the market stays strong, this should hook back up. So that's that. I just wanted to show that because I thought that seasonality chart was pretty good already. Let's get into some charts then. We'll start with the 21/21 list from top percentage gainers to least. SMR, this nuclear theme continues to be strong. This is a very volatile one, but look how well it's respected the 21-day on this whole run up. That's really good to see. MSTR bouncing off the 8 EMA, and I talked about this climax top, but it doesn't always mean it's the top because you got to think the price of this is derived from what is Bitcoin doing, and if Bitcoin blasts through 100K, odds are this takes out highs. But so as long as this keeps holding above these rising moving averages, it's fine. And I mentioned this in the podcast today, but let me show you what happened with SMCI. So this was the climax top right here, came down to the 21-day. And then it went from, 700 all the way back to almost 1300. So you can see, and the characteristics of these two were almost identical in terms of extensions from the moving averages, just the daily range, gap up, reversal. So, this could be a precedent for MSTR moving forward. But if you want to see that more in depth, I cover it on the podcast from this afternoon. Alrighty. So that's that. I showed MSTR. Decker's really nice one. This was just a really nice base. And it's starting to come out into new highs here. Just good to see overall. I mean, this is like an apparel shoe stock. So seeing strong stocks from many different industry groups. Palantir just continues to trend, giving nothing back. And, many of the leaders are acting this way, breaking out of this mini flag right here. Carvana super strong as well at highs. Dell, by the way, the flag ones, we own this in-house. Dell coming out of this like base and having a strong day today out of here. Earnings in 4 days. Tesla, we added to this one today, breaking out of this flag through 350. And basically, how I'm interpreting this chart is, let's see this 350 level. It's kind of the last type of resistance that I'm seeing until 400 and all-time highs. Every chart, every time frame for Tesla's aligning, monthly breakout, weekly, daily, volumes pouring into this one and continuing higher out of this flag. So good action there. Team software, one of the best sectors to own right now, coming out of this mini handle base here. Twilio, another one, pulled back to the 8 and just blasting higher. This just, I mean, when stocks just tap the 8 and rip higher, you're in a strong market right now. And this one continues to build off that earnings gap. Bitcoin, I mentioned it. Toast, one of the leaders in the fintech space, continues to march higher. Sprouts Farmers Market, starting to build a base up here. ERX, good oil starting to turn around. So watch that for some sector rotation. And then XOM, this is one of the best looking oil stocks trying to merge out of a big base. XPO, keeping a transport on there, just kind of consolidating in this high handle. VRT getting dead tight after that strong day this week. LNG continues to ride trend higher, and EQT is another natural gas name. And this one, nice trend. KMI, another one, great trend. I covered all these in a podcast last week. Dutch Bros looks great, building higher lows. 2 days down, maybe this pulls back, forms a little flag, and sets up for higher. ALAB just pulling back a little bit, pretty normal action, holding above 100. CLS just trending higher, building higher lows. NVIDIA, a little bit weak today, so watch it against this 140 level. And, very muted reaction on earnings. Can't really complain about that too much. They were good. It just comes down to the fact that is the market pricing this in? But, maybe this just needs some time to digest. And if this can just, consolidate out here, we have no problem with that. Reddit, so down 7% on the day. There was news that an insider sold 1.2 million shares, but down 7% and still 7% above the AEMA. So that can kind of tell you some things definitely did get extended, but this is doing nothing wrong, normal. Look at the intraday. It didn't leak off all day, held these lows, and then just kind of trading in a tight range today, pretty similar to what the S&P 500 did. So that's that. I want to talk about some software stocks. IGV, clearly you can look at this sector. This is a clear leader, but if we look at Snow, we own this. Huge change in character, gapping up on earnings, back above all the moving averages, huge volume, and they really noted a turnaround in their earnings report. So this could be a catalyst, but look at other ones like Datadog breaking out of a huge daily base. Look at this weekly chart. This is just textbook flat base breakout. So this is another software name to keep an eye out. And then you obviously have APP, super extended, but this thing is not pulling back. So this one's very strong. Shopify kind of falls in that software list, pulling back to the AEMA and starting to curl higher. And then some other ones that are kind of starting to round out from the bottom. Cloudflare Net coming out of a nice base, almost looks a little bit similar to Datadog. You have GitLab, again, very similar to some of these other ones emerging out of a big rounding base. So this is definitely a potential theme that I'm seeing. I think it could be in the first stages as well because we've seen, I was pretty vocal on this fintech theme, and you can see once these things break out of these big 6 month bases, there is a lot of room to the upside as long as the market stays friendly. And you can see this. This is continuing higher, and fintech names are just super strong. So many good stocks in the market right now, so many themes, so many sectors, and I don't want to jinx it, but it is a bull market. So that's just how we're operating right now. The stocks aren't showing us any weakness. The indexes aren't showing us any weakness. And when you're trending above the moving averages and you have the green light with leadership action, this is the time where you want to press it on the gas until that changes. So, that is our view on the markets right now and how we're operating in-house. So yeah, that's everything I got for today. We always like to hear from you. My email is connor@revereasset.com. You can reach out anytime. The phone is 855 Real Wealth, 855-732-5932. And if you're ever interested in becoming a client or inquiring about what we do at Revere and our GROTECTION portfolio, please reach out. And with that, I'll wrap it for Friday, November 22nd, 4:38 p.m. Eastern Time. This is Connor Bates with Revere Asset Management, telling it like it is. Thank you guys for listening and have a great weekend.